There's been a lot of progression in the gaming industry in the past couple of years. But what does that mean for you and me as the consumer? How many of us go out to the store to pick up a game anymore? Besides getting a physical copy as a collector's item, what's the point? Even console players are slowly getting less and less exclusives. It doesn't really take a rocket scientist to figure out game discs are a thing of the past. It doesn't really matter what platform you play on, Xbox, PlayStation, and especially PC. There is just no need for discs. You simply download the game and install it. But is that going away too? Let's dive in to what that means. Long before the internet, when gaming was at its infancy, there was literally one way to play games, and that was to drive on over to the town mall, stroll on into the arcade, and insert your hard-earned quarters in a massive arcade machine. I won't go too much into the history of gaming, but it wasn't until Ralph H. Baer invented a little handy device called the brown box, which he later named the Odyssey. This device was for you to take home and game on your very own television. And it pretty much went all uphill from there. Next thing you know, we're playing Halo with friends, and a little bit after that, we are connected to the internet and playing car soccer across multiple platforms. Now, along with this evolution, games and technology may have changed, but one thing that was a constant since home gaming was born was that you could own the game. Of course, this being after the old arcade days. Whether it be a physical copy or it being directly linked to your account to download, either way, the game was yours. But is all that going away? And is this a good thing for the future of gaming? Well, to try and be fair, let's look at this from two aspects. One, yes, you won't be able to own a copy of a game or have it linked to an account. And plus, you are now probably paying yet another massive company a monthly service just like everything else. Two, this gives a lot more reason to further develop technology for cloud gaming, which in my opinion has quite a ways to go. That being said, is this something that we even wanted or something that we needed? I'm all in for further developing games and making them better, but let's really think about what's happening here. This means the more and more we go towards this model, the more and more it means that you will never actually own a game. You will just simply have the right to play them. Now, if you're a constant in and out and on the go type of a person, services such as Xbox Game Pass is perfect for you. You have a massive library of games to choose from, as well as cloud gaming and other pro services such as EA Play with the ultimate version of Game Pass. Now, I know there are other services like Sony's PlayStation Now, but as far as I know, it's not nearly as worth it as Game Pass. I don't know. I may be wrong. Let me know down below if you think PlayStation Now is better than Game Pass and why. But now let's get to the root of the other issue. The subscription-based service is an interesting problem because on one hand, it solves a problem, but on the other hand, it causes one. So let's compare this to Spotify because it is the exact same problem. You can't own any of the copies of music yourself. You can download it, but that's about it. And it's another subscription-based service. However, the likelihood of you discovering new bands has tripled, or even in some cases, even quadrupled. The same thing goes for models like Game Pass, which is huge for indie developers trying to make a name for themselves. So it is quite a double-edged sword. I'm not making these points to deter you in any way from these subscription-based models. I'm simply trying to get you to think about the pros and the cons. Now let's talk about cloud gaming. Now we know this is the next big step in gaming. We've already seen it with console games and even some computer games playable from a mobile device through the cloud. It has a ton of restraints and rules and glitches, but it is possible. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The main reason why I bring up cloud gaming is for competitive online play. We are very far away from this being achievable for a handful of reasons. 1. Locally installed games run much faster and are capable of processing more bandwidth in real time, which ultimately boils down to one thing that competitive FPS players care about the most: frames per second. And 2, there is a bit of a bandwidth issue, and speed isn't necessarily the problem. It's consistency. You see, most people don't have a deep understanding of how bandwidth works. Say I'm in the middle of a game and I'm playing it through the cloud, and someone else jumps on the Wi-Fi and starts downloading something. Well, now there is less bandwidth for my game and it starts to look jagged, glitchy, pixelated. I know there are ways to solve this issue by having a set amount of bandwidth per device on your network, but again, most people don't know how to do that. The next big issue would be how these creators and AAA studios get paid. But hey, I hear you. What does this have to do with the future of gaming, and what does this have to do with me? And you would be correct with that line of questioning. I feel as if it may be the most important issue and or solution, depending on how you look at it, of all. And that would be the incentive to create. In some cases, Xbox will pay the cost of total production up front while also giving the creator and or publisher freedoms to also sell on PlayStation, Steam, and even in some cases on the Switch. While others will make a deal to receive payment based off of downloads, playtime, and other units of measurement, kind of like Spotify. Well, that doesn't sound so bad, right? Right. But how many times have we seen an open to sell whatever you create platform that got flooded with spam and copy paste games with slightly different models to them and crunched in those ads to receive massive amounts of revenue? That's right. Mobile platforms. Sure, there are tons of legit games and apps to download, but how many of those apps, once you start scrolling further down, are screaming, please accidentally download me? But I get it. Steam has not done this so far. Sure, there's tons of silly games on Steam that are practically nothing to anyone, and they created a fantastic model for other fellow gamers to view recommended games and even see if their closest friends have even played the game and for how long. But Game Pass doesn't seem to have that feel to it yet. Something about it seems different, and I think it's going towards the wrong direction. To conclude, these are simply just my observations and opinions. What do you guys think? Comment down below and let me know your opinions and what you think about the situation. Let me know what makes you game.